Hey, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. Welcome to this week's ClearPath LeaderCast. We are going to be talking about an important topic today, which is the leadership team meeting. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you've ever sat through a terrible leadership team meeting. I have sat through several. And we're going to talk about why they are so often so bad and what we can do to make them effective and to make them not time wasters, but value added events towards your business that will help your business grow faster and become more successful. So that is our focus today. A few things before we get started. My name is Craig Anderson. I am the president and founder of ClearPath Coaching and Consulting. We are a business coaching firm. We also provide some business consulting to help businesses get, and especially business owners, get clear on their goals, help them to get their team aligned so everybody's rowing in the same direction. And we do all of this so you can achieve success faster for your business. So often we struggle to get everybody going in the same direction for our business, and it becomes a real struggle. And in my time, my 25 years working for Fortune 100 companies, I learned a lot about what makes those companies so successful on an ongoing basis. And a big part of what makes them successful is they pay a lot of focus and attention to the details of the business, to their numbers. They have really efficient planning processes. They look to the future for where their business is going to go. They have great people strategies, and they've built processes for the business that really define how they treat their customers, how they treat their employees, their products they're going to use to grow the business, what they will do and what they won't do. And so often business owners at a very different level of that scale struggle looking for the right thing for them to do. I had some theories about how to get that big picture, those big processes that are created by the Fortune 100 companies, and then scale them down so they could be effective for Fortune or for small businesses, and had an opportunity to test that when I spun a division out into a fully owned subsidiary of another company, of another operating not for profit. And we were able to grow that business from under a $500,000 in revenue to nearly 5 million in 3 years while being named a great place to work. And it is possible to start building that discipline in your business. It is possible to grow your business and grow your team, but keep everybody aligned and rowing in the same direction. But you have to have the tools, you have to have the pieces in place in order for you to do that. And that's a big part of what we do at ClearPath Coaching and Consulting, is help you figure those things out so that you can really start growing your business. So let's talk about leadership team meetings. Again, give me a thumbs up in the comments if you have been through some terrible leadership team meetings. I had a company I worked for that pulled in a lot of different leaders for a monthly business meeting that was supposed to be setting the direction, getting us all kind of updated on what we were doing so we could be horizontally aligned and vertically aligned with the CEO. And it was painful to have these meetings. There was no structure. There was no intention around how they were built. It was kind of a stream of consciousness from the CEO about what they were thinking that day about the overall view of the business. And there were road rules set up for how each different line was supposed to report out, but they weren't enforced. It was supposed to be a quick 3 slides, 10 minutes and out. No one followed the format, and there was no consequences for not following the format. So a meeting that should have been highly effective, highly efficient, quick punches to get everybody moving forward ended up being a 2 to 3 hour affair with some people on Zoom, some people in the office, almost everybody not paying attention, focused on their phones, focused on their emails. And the reason for that was partly we were all just a little rude, but partly because there was no value. The only value was being at the meeting. So you were recognized as being a good doobie being at the meeting. And this process was repeated over and over on a monthly basis. And it was incredibly deflating. It was incredibly pointless. And we all went back and did whatever the heck we were going to do anyway. That's not leadership. That's not a leadership team. So why is a leadership team meeting so important? And it's crucial for you as business owners as your business grows, because, and executives as well, as things grow, you start having to get more people that you're achieving things through, called your leadership team. And one of the challenges as you're growing it, you have a vision in your head as the owner, as the chief executive, of how you want things done in the business, where you want your priorities, what your objectives are, what the focus is on how the business is going to be run. These are all crucial and important things. And the fear that you have is if I have to start doing that through other people, I'm going to lose them. And the way I want it done is going to be interpreted and filtered through these people. And suddenly I don't have the business that I want to have. And so you start losing some of the freedom you wanted as an entrepreneur. And now you've had success and you think, oh, even better, the chains, even better, I have more freedom. But in fact, the chains are even heavier around your wrists because you are so deep down in the business because you don't want to let go. So how do you let go? One of the tools for that, and there's a lot of tools for that we talk about in the Leadership Academy, but one of the tools for that is having effective leadership team meetings. What is the purpose of the leadership team meeting? There are only a few reasons you want to have it. One, you as the leader want to make sure that you have an awareness of what's going on in the business, and those are just some key things. Are we hitting our metrics? Where are we at on our big projects? Where are the problems and where are the opportunities? That's really all you need to hear in these meetings. You can go deeper individually in one-on-ones if you need to. The other purpose of the meeting is to get your team horizontally aligned. So you want to make sure that the people who are responsible for different areas of your business have the information they need to start moving your business forward. So they need to know, the operations people need to know where sales is, if they're hitting their numbers, exceeding their numbers, or missing their numbers, so they can start making their adjustments here. The people who need to order product into the business to build the things to provide the services that you offer. The idea of getting those same 4 points of information to everybody on the leadership team is what allows them to all make smart decisions as they move things forward. So if you go into it and realize that's really the only reason that meeting exists, you can even go further and actually just have a checklist for everybody in the meeting that they just boom, 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 hit those things quickly and just report out on those key items. And that's really all you need to do. If there's things that need to be discussed deeper, chances are you don't necessarily have to have everybody at the table to be in that meeting. There's nothing worse than having to deal with something pops up in a meeting that only affects 20% of the people in the meeting, but you waste 100% of the people's time when you dive deep into the meeting. There are things that need to be taken. Don't say offline. I hate the word offline. Taken out of the meeting and have a separate meeting outside there where you resolve that issue. Another key thing that happens as you're building that horizontal alignment is you'll see people raise their hands to say things aren't going well and I need help. And you can start finding ways to help them grow the business, get the right people in place to do that so that people can get the help that they need. Those are the key things that you really want out of your leadership team meeting. And that's really it. What's driving the business forward? What's holding us up? What are the things that I need to know that we're hitting our objective? Are we on track for our objectives this month? Are we on track on our projects this month? That's it. Quick hit meetings. I even went so far with one organization that I had kind of a board. Like we said it was a Kanban board. I'm sure anybody who knows Kanban would have been appalled. But what it did do is show us the progress of all the major projects for the business so we could see it. And we updated it before we walked in the meeting so you could check that and see what was going on and where the red flags were. That's really what we want to do with a leadership team meeting is get things focused. You as a leader have a big responsibility in that meeting to keep the meeting focused and on track. Maybe you want to put together a big agenda for that meeting, but if you do the same exact report outs every time you have the meeting, it should be quick and dirty. This should be no more than a 20 to 30-minute meeting. My recommendation is stand up. Don't have it around a conference room table. Don't have it in a place where people sit down. If you have an office as the leader, have everybody come into your office. That meeting is at 9:00 every Monday. Boom. Everybody gives their reports. Everybody gets out. When people sit down, people get comfortable. People can also start sliding over to their phones. That's not what you want. You want people focused on what's going on in the meeting. So the other piece I recommend is have a set of ground rules for the meeting. What's okay to talk about? What's a way to, my famous rule that I had in my last business was that respectful cursing was okay in the meeting. But having control of those meetings around the confidential things that you need to talk about in the meetings and keeping those things confidential, the things how we interact with each other. If we have a no blame game rule that we don't blame people, we just find solutions. So have a set of rules for those meetings that nobody will talk for more than 5 minutes, no interruptions. You always have people in the meeting, you just by nature of personality. Some are over talkers who are going to talk over other people. Some people have really great, insightful things to say, but they're not going to say them unless you pull them out. So we have to have rules around respect for the meeting that people don't overtalk and everybody has an opportunity to talk. So having a clear set of rules, having a format predefined for the meeting, covering just those key items and whip around the room, getting those updates out. Table the things that are appropriate to be tabled to smaller subsets of problem solving meetings to get those things done. That's a key to the successful meeting. The last piece that's really important, and I think a lot of people as they build these leadership team meetings, even if they run a great meeting, they don't think of this last step. And it's a crucial last step in the process. It is the idea that if you've made a decision in that meeting or you've gone through these things that are the key decisions, you need to have agreement in your leadership team meetings around what the messaging is as you leave the room. I had my last business set up that the leadership team offices were in the center of the space, and we had a conference room in the center of that. And that was our conference room. And that's where we really could open up and be honest and truthful and vulnerable and transparent in those meetings. But one of the things we did at the end of every meeting is we had agreement on what the message was coming out of the meeting. How are we going to describe this thing that we decided? How are we going to describe this issue that we're facing? Get the talking points aligned. So much of communication in your business is getting everybody on your leadership team on the same page, communicating issues the same way. And you have to have that agreement because the people in your business are looking for that team to be aligned. They're looking for that team to be on the same page because if you all are representing the business on the same page, you can avoid all that kind of stovepiping that gets created between marketing and sales, between operations and fulfillment. All those different areas, you want to make sure you've got everybody tied together on the same page. So those are really the key pieces to having an effective leadership team meeting. We're going to dive much deeper into that. Check out our blog post this week over at clearpathcoaches.com/blog, where we dive into this in greater detail. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to read into it. Thanks so much for joining us today for ClearPath LeaderCast. Think about having effective leadership team meetings. Quit wasting people's time. Even if you think you're having a great leadership team meeting, get the honest opinion of the people around you to see how much value they're getting out of it. Because I can tell you most leadership team meetings are the nightmare meetings like I was talking about earlier in the beginning of the cast today. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye-bye.